Praise be everyone. So forgive me, I have a bit of allergies, so that's why I look like I'm stoned. But we're gonna power through and talk about season 4 of The Handmaid's Tale.
This will start a war
upon our righteous nation. Come back for Nicole. Come back for your baby dream woman who loves you.
If I don't go back now, Hannah is gone forever.
Daddy and I will always love you, and we would never stop.
Let's fix this country. Let's make things right again.
The pain that you caused us when you tore our children from our arms. Do you understand me?
Anger is necessary to heal. We can't live there. Why does healing have to be the only goal? Why can't we be as furious as we feel?
She could put us both away for the maximum sentence.
My name is June Osborne.
June's strength has been tested like never before, escaping with the rest of the handmaids from the clutches of Gilead. The hiding and the running finally comes to a halt for the remaining survivors. They must stand up and fight for their freedom. It's been a long time coming, but June being imprisoned for 3.5 seasons. In episode 5, June finally reaches Canada, leaving her to have to make the hardest decision of her life and leaving Hannah behind. The fight for her freedom is over, but the battle within herself has just begun. Having lost sight of who she once was, she's now struggling to find herself, along with her daughter. The Handmaid's Tale is just so flawlessly written and performed. It gives some of the most authentic emotions ever seen on the small screen. Many of these characters facing their own demons as a result. That's what makes them so likable and empowering is, their ability to have gone through so much and still fight for what's left. Even from time to time, the villain's given some humanity shown to give the viewers a change in perception. The cinematography and camera work is so beautiful, even though it's relating to such a brutal and cruel world that The Handmaid's Tale set itself up in. There's so much at stake in this season, from the army of handmaids slowly falling apart, and it's really heartbreaking. It's a reality seen in many historical events, such as the Holocaust, very few Jewish survivors. And in this case, many will only know freedom from Gilead through death. With June being one of the few Gilead survivors, horrific events traumatized her to a point where, you don't really know if she'll recover. And there's a point in the show that the season makes very well. More often than not, you don't. This season also displays how the justice system is broken, and basically the only way to overthrow the law is through vengeance, or taking it into your own hands. Unlike the recent 3 seasons with the pandering basically being on Steadicam, in season 4, every episode June is traveling somewhere to some different location. It honestly does make it a lot more fast-paced. It never stops. The outcome has definitely picked up its pace since season 3. The only part I didn't like about this season, the fact that June getting captured again, it felt redundant and unrealistic to think that she would survive yet another chance without being on the wall, given the circumstances of the situation. And even though the interrogation scene between June and Aunt Lydia is one of my favorite scenes of the season, it's 40 minutes of an episode that could have been used towards making her in Canada by now and, kind of just done with the story in a different way. There's about 3 episodes in this season that Elizabeth Moss, the actress that plays June, directed, and it just shows how talented she is behind the camera as opposed to in front of it. She's given the characters more extensive scenes to further build their moment. When she makes it to Canada, it really is a switch in her character, being in a different surrounding. You see her trying to adapt to it, but she's still very much a prisoner due to the trauma. Her arc makes this drastic switch where you see a pretty dark side to her that has been building up progressively through the other seasons, slowly but surely. It'll ultimately affect her relationships, her friends, Luke, Nicole growing up in a broken home, with them very possibly splitting up for good. It's a reality that's very beautifully done. She made a choice to be able to get Hannah back, possibly, but now with murdering Fred, even though it was really justified, she can't have both. Choice she made, and that's the card she's now dealt with. I've been saying since season 1, I've really been wanting to see the Handmaids go Spartacus on their ass. They really have, especially on Fred, and that's just the beginning. That's getting good. In June, mailing Fred's wedding band and finger to Serena, also to kind of make her feel included with her justice, losing her pinky, but also as a reminder that she's not forgotten yet and they're coming for her. As I mentioned in my previous reviews, I think that Tuello is still the father of Serena's baby. They just have too much chemistry for him not to have some connection. And with June being free and Hannah still in Gilead, it's only going to give her character more strength and motive. June meeting Serena for the first time since she's been freed. With her character arc, also her channeling what she's been through with Serena. It's just so satisfying to see Serena so vulnerable for once. She was always in higher command, and now she's equal. She's wearing blue, which is symbolic to Serena's attire. Episode Pigs, the first pilot. June, she has the wife kill her rapist. Of course, the ending is Fred's death is the best part as well. The fact that here is actually on the wall, which is a abandoned chimney in the woods, you know, was really cool to see that as well. You will not find a more complex and poetic story than The Handmaid's Tale. That's why it's become the most controversially, groundbreaking, talked about TV series today. There's plenty more we can discuss down below, so let me know what you think of this season. Blessed be the fruit.
Fred Waterford and Serena Joy imprisoned me, beat me, and raped me.
You are now in my custody.
Thank you for watching, and please subscribe.